Your head. Pull the straps tight and breathe normally. Put your mask on before help.
That's my old apartment building. This is like the market they had just put, like maybe the last year I was staying in Philly. Corner store I used to go to all the time. It's so weird being back here right now.
Can't find me. Yeah. The orange. Is that orange truck right there?
I'm here to talk about my experience running the Philadelphia Love Run Half Marathon, completing it, how it's made me feel, and overall, like, just my thoughts on it. I will say overarchingly, the experience was good. The support of the people who were there was something that, like, honestly, I don't think I've ever experienced before. Like, people being so open, people being so excited, people being so positive. Especially with all that's going on in the world right now, I think that, like, people aren't really that. People are not very positive and encouraging, and so to be just surrounded by thousands of people who are like that was really, really amazing, really, really powerful to witness. It was hard. And that seems like, I know that sounds so like obviously it was hard, obviously, but it was hard. Like, that was probably one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. And I think a lot of people would say that who ran it. Not to say that it was like impossible or as hard as what other people have done or do, but running for 13.1 miles straight, uphill, downhill, curves, with people, without people, that's intense. That is intense. Starting the race, there's a huge lineup of people. Like, you're just seeing thousands of people lined up ready to start this race.
Lead the charge. Stay with her.
And in the front, they have people who run the fastest, and then kind of it goes from there. So people in the front are running like 5-minute miles, and then people towards the back are running like 15-minute plus miles. And so everybody's lined up, and we're all excited. There's a DJ, there's an announcer, and we're all just trying to like get hyped up. You know, people are drinking water, Celsius, stretching, just getting hyped up. And in this moment, I felt like I was about to do something really hard. I was scared, and I just wanted to kind of get it over with. And this was a shared feeling too, I think, amongst people. Of course, you're feeling good, right? Like, your body's physically good. You haven't done anything yet. And maybe you actually feel really good because you stretched a little bit, maybe you've warmed up. But you aren't feeling tired. You're just feeling excited and anxious to get things going. It was okay for a couple of miles. Like, it's just really high energy. There's a lot of support. People are there with hilarious posters. And it's very, very, like, and specifically how the Philadelphia Love Run is mapped out, there's a lot of things to look at. Like, you're running through Center City, Philadelphia for the first, like, 4 or so miles. And so you're looking at buildings, you're seeing people walking through, people are filming you, they're just like having cameras, smiling for the camera. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and it's really chill.
But it was all because of this.
And you approach around mile 4 or 5, and at this point there's a 7K that happens, which I actually ran last year, and then the half marathon, which is what I was running this year. And there's a point where these two tracks split. So 7K kind of just loops around back to the finish line and around the same place that we started, and then the half marathon obviously goes on to run for another about like 9 miles. I took the split to half marathon and started running towards the Kelly Drive was where it was. So we're on Kelly Drive and the energy is still pretty high. The land overall has been very, very flat and very easy to manage. So far it's been good. You're starting to get a little bit more tired. You're starting to like settle in more, like, oof, okay. Like I'm only 4 or 5 miles in and I still have a lot of miles to go. And at this point, I've been running for a little under an hour. And so, yes, we're on Kelly Drive. Things are very still scenic. And then we took this turn off of Kelly Drive, and I think this is when actually the pain and suffering started to really begin for me. Now we're at probably about like 5 or 6, late 5 or early 6, and we're going uphill. And now this is the part of the half marathon that I think really started to get to everybody. Was having to run up and downhill a lot. And I don't know if this is true for all half marathons. I imagine that it's pretty hard to find land that's just flat for 13 miles for people to run on. But for me, I think what was really challenging was running uphill for the amount of time that was needed. When you start to see people like stop, like people are walking, it's a lot, it's really tiring, exhausting even. And you just start to like get a little bit like, man, I'm not even halfway through. To feel pain in a lot of areas. Like I was starting to feel my feet hurt a lot and my hips were aching like bad. So I was like, okay, you know, and this is when you start questioning, am I gonna be able to finish this? Now during training I had ran up to 9 miles prior, but I don't know, there's nothing really that I feel like can train you, even if you've been running 13 miles comfortably. Depending on the like way you've been running it, the land that you've been running it on, the weather, all these things kind of dictate how you'll feel during the actual run. It's getting hard. Like, here's a foreshadowing. From this point on, probably from about mile 6 or 7, it's just hard throughout the rest of the race. About mile 8, and at this point I feel cooked. Like I'm like, I don't actually think that I can complete this. Not in the sense of like, okay, I think I'm not fit enough or whatever. Like my cardiovascular is good, my legs are okay, my calves aren't aching, my quads or hamstrings are all fine. It's really my hips right now at this point, my shoes, and then the mentality of like, okay, I still have 6 miles to go or 5 miles to go from this point. At this point in the race too, you're seeing the racers pass you, so everything is kind of like a back and forth now. So you're seeing people who are like much more fast and fit than you pass you on the way back, and you're like, okay, at least I know that I'm gonna turn around relatively soon. I was beginning to cry because I felt like I had done something so, like this choice that I made to run this race was so stupid and so like unreasonable. Like it was so illogical for me to do this. I was not in the shape I think I needed to be to make the race comfortable for me. I like to run, don't get me wrong, but it's not like one of my passions in life is not running. So it got to a point where I'm at a mile 11. I'm like, wow, I really did this just to be able to say I did this. I'm putting myself, my body through this like trauma. It's feeling like it's feeling like traumatic, what I'm like, the pain I'm in. And I did this all for appearances. I did this all so that I can say that I've done this to people. I did this so I can achieve this little thin piece of metal on a string and to post on Instagram. And so I'm like, I'm really angry at myself. I'm really disappointed in myself, and I'm also just feeling horrible. I think that truly beyond mile 11, I was not mentally present because your body's in so much pain. I think you kind of just disassociate from what you're actually living in real life and kind of just like, you just do it. It was spiritual, and that there was just an energy that was not inside of my being, that was not around me, that was not felt necessarily by me, that was propelling my body forward through the rest of this race. It may sound dramatic what I'm saying, but truly I know that mentally I was not present. And I knew this because when I was running, there was a woman who like a nearby pacer who was kind of bringing me back in. She would say, we only have 1.7 miles left. We're almost there. Or you only have 1.3 miles left. And when she would say that, it would bring me out of this kind of, I don't know, trance, you can say, like, and I would get mad that she was pulling me out of it because it would remind me of how much pain I was in. We start to get close to the finish. I'm back on Kelly Drive, and I'm coming back to the Art Museum in Philadelphia where the finish line is. And there too, like, there's your name is on your bib, and there's a lot of people encouraging you. They're calling your name. They're like, you're doing this. Like, you're right there. You're right there. I promise. Like, you got this. It's not too bad. You're so close. You've done so much already. And oh my God, I can literally cry talking about this because it was like, you just want to stop. Like, you literally just want to stop and cry. Like, you're in so much pain. And I remember like seeing other people who were stopping, and I was like, man, I truly can't even describe to you where the energy came from, where the like motivation came from to finish this race, other than I just wanted to finish. That was the only thing I could think about, was just, please just finish. Just keep putting your legs in front of the other leg. Yeah, walking was not helping. Nothing was helping. Water wasn't helping. Powerade wasn't helping. Encouragement from others wasn't helping. It was just pain. I'm looking ahead, and I'm seeing the finish line. I'm seeing the people behind barricades, they're cheering for you, and there's more cameramen, and I'm feeling awful. Like, I'm not smiling for a single camera. I'm not smiling for a camera. I'm just like wanting this to be over. And then somehow I finished. Somehow I crossed the finish line, and I'm just in immense pain. I feel like I can barely walk. Like I said, walking wasn't feeling better than running, so it was hurting to just walk around. They gave me this like aluminum blanket, and of course I got my medal, and I was just meeting up with family, trying to like find where I was supposed to be, but it was terrible. It was terrible that like right after the race, I think during the last 2 miles I felt pretty awful, but once my body had really realized that I was done torturing it with running, it immediately let me feel like what I had been doing. I'm really happy that I did this. It taught me a lot about who I am as a person. It also it showed me that my body can do really amazing things, more so than you think your body could ever do, because of whatever reason, right? Like maybe because for me growing up, I was really, really unhealthy, and I have gone through a lot of like just like fitness improvement, weight loss, just physical change in my body. And so running this race was like, dang, like your body can run 13.1 miles, when opposed to my high school self who like couldn't even run a mile straight. And so being able to do that, I was like, wow, I am amazing. I am cool. My body can do stuff that is really, really hard. And that was empowering. It was also so inspiring to see the amount of different people racing. There were people who were disabled. There was an amputee who had no leg who was running for 13 miles. There were people who were in their 70s running faster than I was. And so that was a really beautiful thing to see. For me, at least, it was inspiring to see so many people gathered to do this thing that is really, really tough. just to do it, you know, just to prove that they can. What I'll say the negative aspects of this was for me was realizing like how often I do things for appearances, like how often I do things for appearances or to look a certain way for other people or to prove myself as something to other people. I'll say that I don't think I ran this half marathon for myself, which I felt, and I think too that was also part of the reason why I was feeling so bad. It gave me a lot of perspective on, okay, like, what are you doing things for? Not just this running this half marathon, but in general in life. Like, what am I doing this for? What am I doing the work I do for? What am I eating the way I eat for? What am I making music for? What am I running for? You know, what am I doing these things actually for? What is the purpose? I think for the next couple of days / weeks, I will be reflecting on this because that's a big thought, you know, like what am I doing all this for? What is the point of it? And so that's quite existential, I realize, but I think that's what it makes when you're feeling that much pain and when you go through such a like spiritual experience, it makes you think a lot bigger than you usually do. So I think it's cool that I got to have this experience overall, and especially because I got to run it with my sister, who is like my soulmate, and that was a really powerful thing to see, not only myself do it, but her do it. So yeah, if you stuck around, thank you for watching. That's pretty much all I have to say about this experience. I'm grateful that my body was able to do such a thing, and also being sore like I am right now is reminding me how much I take for granted being able to walk, being able to move, being able to function freely without feeling sore, without feeling tired, without feeling restrained. And so yeah, I'm feeling a lot of gratitude for my experience, and I'm feeling a lot of gratitude. That's really all. I'm grateful. Yes, thank you for watching. Shout out to me. And I mean, this is my first kind of talking style video. I don't know if I'll do more videos like this, but I felt like what a better way to start off or try, but through talking about something that was so, you know, so like mind-boggling, blowing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Light and love.